It's Parachute 2014 and we are in the Rhema Media tent with the very lovely, the very talented New Zealand musician, Julia Grace.
Being visited by a fly.
Yes, there are many
Actually,
flies about. It's a festival
more
atmosphere.
More of them around you, actually, now that I've noticed. There was only one on me and quite a few over that way.
Yeah, okay, well that makes sense.
I'll send them over.
Thank you for pointing that out, how very rock and roll our lifestyle is.
Oh, we are.
Hey, I don't want to make you feel old, but actually you and I have known each other for many, many years,
Yes.
going all the way back to when you were in a little band called Elevator.
Yes.
I mean, actually, how long have you been doing music for now?
Oh, actually, my first public performance was when I was 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I did a big event at church. It was about 1,000 people, and I sung "Send in the Clowns," which I thought was appropriate because the music industry is full of them.
Oh,
yeah,
there we go. Okay, and so when did you sort of get into, your first big band, I guess, and start to do it as a career?
Well, when I joined Elevator when I was in my early 20s, and before that I'd been doing musicals at school and at church, and worship leading, worship teams. When I joined Elevator, we started sort of writing and creating more artistic kind of music, and out of there I became a solo artist. And I've continued to do much of the other stuff along the way, but my main focus has been Julia Grace, writing my own songs.
Yeah, I mean, you must listen to the music of, say, Lord now and think, hey, I was doing this sort of thing 15 years ago. Yeah, kind of the electronica, little bit eclectic.
Yeah, actually, I was in the backstage of Deluxe before. I said to my daughter, so I'm amazed at how many bands there are that sound like Elevator now, and yet at the time they didn't quite know what to do with us. It was like, oh, this is all a bit new, and now it's become quite normal. It's quite
Before
funny.
your time.
Oh, I think so. I've moved on.
Yeah. Now, a very exciting project, which is your most recent, called It as well, which is just 5 tracks, but just beautiful versions of classic hymns.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell us about this one and the story behind why you wanted to make it.
I have written this album and recorded this album and dedicated it to my grandma. My grandma and I had a very close bond, and I chose 5 of her and my favourite hymns. And I've had a really, really rough sort of 2-year period in my life. And as part of that, I've kind of run back to the pillars of my life. And one of my pillars of my life have been the songs of my childhood. So I've kind of revisited, reworked some of those songs that meant a lot to me throughout the process. And they've been incredibly healing and just sort of uplifting to me in that time. So it was cool to sort of get them down and then to sort of spread the joy, I guess.
Yeah. So when you're sitting down, you're thinking, well, so many wonderful hymns throughout the centuries, which ones am I going to choose? Was it kind of obvious? And then how do you approach doing a version of them that people go, oh, you sort of butchered that, or that was lovely? Were you worried
It's
about?
always the fear.
Because everybody knows those songs, don't they?
It's hard because you're sort of rewriting a classic in a sense, and you want to respect the song, but you want to make it part of your own story. And so I think they were immediately obvious to me when they were the right songs to pick. I just knew it was either a song that I could do my own version of that didn't sort of change it too much, or one that I could sort of completely rewrote and sort of revisited the heart of the song. And I guess as an artist you just do it your own way, so you're always kind of putting your own flavour on anything, and try and do it just as authentically as possible.
Yeah, and you recorded the album with genuine musicians using genuine instruments.
Yeah.
And you can say that because actually it's not always the way these days. What was that experience like? Because what you've come out with, I think, is a very organic sounding album that you must be very proud of.
It was a beautiful, really fast process. We smashed it out in a couple of days, to be honest with you. And we went into a beautiful old church, worked with a very small team who I know very, very well. And it was just, we used, like you say, the real thing, a stunning, beautiful grand piano. We used beautiful guitars and drums, and we used the space and the sound in the room to add to the quality of the sound. And I think it just came out. You can do stuff fast using studio trickery, and you can do stuff quickly using, I guess the modern technology. But we chose to do it sort of the old way, and to get into the old church, and and I think it came out very, very naturally.
Yeah. I've never actually asked you this, but is your grandmother not alive these days?
No, she died when she was 99.
Okay,
actually,
wow.
yeah. And we shared a birthday. She was 70 on the same day that I was 7, so we were really tight. Me and my grandma really cool. But yeah,
she would have loved the album though.
She would have loved it. She absolutely would have. So yeah, she made it to 90 and didn't quite get it to 100. She didn't get her tweet from the Queen, as you probably get
Is it a
nowadays.
tweet these
I don't know.
days?
Just Kate Middleton like Facebook you. OMG, you got to 100. But I just think she would have. I think she would have really enjoyed it, and I know my parents have enjoyed. My mum has enjoyed listening to it, and many other people, and sort of young and old. Like it hasn't. I didn't set out to make an old person's project for my grandma particularly. I just wanted to make something that I love, and that hopefully other people love it as well.
You mentioned it before that you had a pretty tough couple of years, and you've described the album to me before as a bit of a healing process going through it. Brand new year, brand new hopes. What are you hoping for in 2014 and the years to come?
I'm referring to this season of my life as chapter 2. Okay. So I feel like the chapter 2 concept is a God sort of concept. As a writer and as a songwriter, I'm always looking for ideas, and so this chapter 2 I think is speaking to me a lot. So I'm just looking at how to define that, how to communicate that. I've been doing a lot of speaking, preaching on coping in crisis, what to do when your life's actually fallen apart, and so part of it is the song, and part of it is the writing, and part of it is the speaking, and I think I'm just kind of weaving those parts together. My encouragement with people, the message of my life has been that struggle makes you stronger, and I really wish I'd picked a better topic, because I've been tested on it so many times. I wish I'd picked money makes you happy, because that would have been awesome. But I picked struggle makes you stronger, and I have been tested on that over and over again, and my hope and dream for this chapter 2 is that I have been tested enough. That it's kind of that I have learnt enough from that. I am not naive to think that life is a bed of roses from here on, but I believe that I've learnt a lot from this season, and I think my job is to use that in any way I can to help other people to grow.
Well, amen to that, and thank you so much for the music. And here's to an amazing 2014, ladies and gentlemen. Julia Grace. Thank you.
Thanks. Always a pleasure, Luke.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.